Hello students, welcome back to 10th English Online YouTube channel. This is me Chandrasekhar CH and I am the faculty of English. Dear students, in this video I am teaching a new lesson from 10th class English textbook. The lesson number is Unit 1 Part B. Every success story is also a story of great failures. This lesson itself is an essay presented to us by Shiv Khera. So before going to start this lesson, let's once talk about the author of this text. So his name is Shiv Khera. He was a popular Indian writer. Yeah, this is about him. Shiv Khera is an Indian author of self-help books and activist. While working in the United States, he was inspired by a lecture delivered by Norman Vincent Peale and followed his motivational teachings. So this lecture, this speech made great impact on this person. So he started writing some lessons like this. Shiv Khera has written several books, including You Can Win. So You Can Win is the popular book in the world. It was sold some millions of copies across the globe. So I recommend this book to all the 10th class students. You must possess this book with you. It not only helpful to you in the class 10, but also it will help you to your career, to your life. Okay. His mission is to ensure freedom through education and justice. His main chief mission was to ensure the freedom, to give the freedom through education and justice only. That is from writing the text, writing the books. You want to bring the awareness to the people, okay? Right. And Shiv Khera was born in a business family who used to have coal mines, Kendua in Dhambad, India. So he was born in a rich family. They used to have some coal mines, right? Soon after the nationalization of coal mines by the Indian government, he had to search for his own living. Once all the coal mines were reserved or taken by this Indian government after nationalization, so he became jobless. So he had to search for his own living, right? In his early years, he worked as a car washer, a life insurance agent, and a franchise operator before he became a motivational speaker. So this is an interesting and inspiring story of Shiv Khera. That's why he wrote this text, okay? And I'm sure, my dear students, this essay will inspire you a lot. So you will learn the great lessons from the great personalities, right? So he says that behind every success there is a great failure, right? The person who succeeded will definitely face the failure in his past. That's what he is trying to convey through this text, okay? And he mentions so many people who succeeded at the end, but also who faced a failure in the beginning in the attempts. So he lists out many people one by one, okay? Let's go through the text. The lesson name is Every Success Story is also a story of great failures. It means that behind every success there is a great failure, right? So the first paragraph, let's read and discuss now. Failure is the highway to success. Of course, we all have to agree to this quotation. Tom Watson Sr. said, if you want to succeed, double your failure rate. A great philosopher, Tom Watson, he says that if you want to succeed, you have to double your failure rate. If you increase the number of failures, you will learn the lessons from the failures and ultimately you will succeed. Next paragraph. If you study history, you will find that all stories of success are also stories of great failures. If you go back to the history, if you take any person as an example, you will see definitely a great failure before getting success. But people don't see the failures. They only see one side of the picture, and they say the person got lucky. This is what the hypocrisy, right? The people, they don't see the dark side of the person. They just see the success and they say that they are lucky, right? They don't see the hard work. Okay. And they say finally, he must have been at the right place at the right time. Next paragraph. So now he is trying to share about one great personality. Let's listen carefully here. Let me share someone's life history with you. This was a man who failed in business at the age of 21. So there is a person, he started his business at the age of 21 but failed and was defeated in a legislative race at the age of 22. Next year, he tried to participate in the politics, right? But again, there also he faced failure. Failed again in business at the age 24. After 2 years, once again he tried a business, but once again he failed. Overcame the death of his sweetheart at the age of 26. At the age of 26, he lost his life partner and his wife and his sweetheart, right? That depression, it tried to overcome that and had a nervous breakdown at the age of 27 after losing his sweetheart. He went into deep depression at the age of 27 and lost a congressional race at the age 34. Again, he tried to appear in the politics. He got contested, but he got failed in the race at the age of 34. And again, he contested for senator post. Senator means it's in America, right? Senatorial. So the position is equal to governor in India. Okay, at the age of 45, he contested to the post of senator, but he got failed. And failed in an effort to become vice president at the age of 47. So he also contested for the post of vice president. This position also he lost at the age of 47. And he lost a senatorial race at the age of 49. So second time he tried to contest for the position of a senator. At the age of 49, once again he lost that race. And finally he was elected for the president of the United States of America at the age of 52. So see, my dear friends, this many failures he faced in his life. Can you imagine that yourself in his place? Oh yeah, just try to put your thoughts, give your answer to this question. What would you do if you were in his place? Okay, this is the question number 1. Just you give the answers in the comment section. Okay, right. So this man was Abraham Lincoln. So just now we talked about the person, many failures he faced in his life. The person is Abraham Lincoln. He didn't worry a lot. This many times he faced the failures, he didn't worry a lot because at the end he became the president of America, right? Would you call him a failure? No. So do we call him a failure? So he was not at all a failure. So he would have been a failure if he had quit at any stage. Many times he failed. If at any stage, if he had stopped trying, definitely he would have been a failure. But he didn't. He could have quit. But to Lincoln, defeat was a detour and not a dead end. According to Lincoln, defeat, a failure is not an end. It is not an end. It is a other road. It's a other U-turn. So, for example, detour means what? If one way is closed, the other way will be open definitely, right? It's a, what do you call, like a U-turn, okay now. If one way is closed, take another way, take diversion and keep going, okay, right? So defeat or failure is not a dead end. You should take a diversion only. And this is about Abraham Lincoln. Now the author is sharing about second person. The person name is Lee D. Forrest. In the year 1913, Lee D. Forrest, he was an inventor of the triode tubes. He was charged by the district attorney for using fraudulent means to mislead the public into buying stocks of his company by claiming that he could transmit the human voice across the Atlantic. This great inventor, Lee D. Forrest, he was publicly humiliated by the people in the district court with the allegation that he is trying to mislead the people to buy his stocks of the company by saying that he could transmit the human voice across the Atlantic Ocean. So, transmitting the human voice through devices, right? The device is called here triode tubes. So, my dear friends, today if you want to talk to any person who is away from you, in another state, other country, right? How your voice reach the person? If you speak over phone here, how it reaches the other person in other location? It is through these triode tubes only, right? It receives the signals and converts, right, into the signals and then pass the, right, it could transmit the voice. Okay, he said, not only in this other outside, he said that he could transmit the voice, human voice, across the Atlantic Ocean, under the water also, across the water also he could transmit the voice. This is what he tried to convey to the people. Fine. So he was publicly humiliated, teased, okay. And can you imagine where we would be without his invention? If he had not invented these triode tubes, today we would not have used mobile phones or land phones, etc., right? So we have to thank to this person, right? The third person is, see friends, here on the right side in the picture, Lady Forrest holding a triode tube in his hand. Now next paragraph and third person. A New York Times editorial on December 10th, 1903 questioned the wisdom of the Wright brothers who were trying to invent a machine heavier than air that would fly. So the New York Times editorial, they questioned the wisdom, the talent of Wright brothers. I think you understood who are these brothers, right? They invented the first flight, okay, right? So that must be heavier than the air and that could fly. Okay, they questioned these two brothers. Okay, 1 week later at Kitty Hawk, the Wright brothers took their first flight and first famous flight. Okay, in the year 1903. This is what their great success. And now fourth person is Colonel Sanders. Dear friends, do you know who is this person? Let's see. At the age 65, with a beat up car, here beat up means old and damaged, and a $100 check from Social Security, he realized he had to do something. See, this person named Colonel Sanders, at the age of 65, at that time he had only one old and damaged car and $100 check only. At that age he realized to do something in his life, right? So he is a live example for us. The age is not a factor to do anything, right? At any age we can do anything, right? 25, 30, 40 is not a factor. it is not a dead age to decide your life. Okay, so till the end of your life you can do anything, right? He remembered his mother's recipe and went out selling. In his childhood days, whatever his mother prepared for him, that recipe he prepared, and he went outside in the streets for selling. How many doors did he have to knock on before he got his first order? Can you guess, my dear friends? How many doors he had knocked to get his first order? It is estimated that he had knocked on more than 1,000 doors before he got his first order. To get a first order, he knocked down more than 1,000 doors. So he could quit at after knocking the first door, second door, third door. He didn't do that, right? So he believed in his recipe. He had a strong hope in that. That's why he continued knocking the doors, right? And he got the first order. Whenever he got the first order, then onwards he didn't turn backside, right? That was the beginning of KFC, the world famous brand. Okay, how many of us quit after 3 tries, 10 tries, 100 tries, and then we say we tried as hard as we could, right? So we will definitely won't try as many times as he did. Yes or no? Yes. Next, the fifth person is, as a young cartoonist, Walt Disney faced many rejections from newspaper editors who said he had no talent. So, do you know, my dear friends, Walt Disney, a world's famous cartoonist? In the beginning, so he went to a newspaper company or agency. He went to an editor for drawing the cartoons. They said that he had no talent. So he got disappointed and he went to a church and he sat there. So one day a minister at a church hired him to draw some cartoons. So he was sitting in a dull mood that there came a minister and he asked him to draw some cartoons. Disney was working out of a small mouse infested shed near the church. So at that time he saw here and there and he found some mice. Mice means what? Rats, okay? Many rats. So mouse, okay, a small mouse he found in the corner of the church. After seeing a small mouse, he was inspired. So that was the start of Mickey Mouse. So whenever he found the small mouse moving from one corner to another corner, he got inspired and he had drawn the moving pictures of that small mouse, and that was the beginning of the Mickey Mouse. Today Mickey Mouse is the world's famous cartoon show, okay? Right. And okay, so this many people we have seen. Now successful people don't do great things, they only do small things in a great way. So this is the quotation of Shiv Khera, and this was a registered quotation. Okay, the people, they don't do great things, they do the same things what others do, but they do in a different way. That's what make them successful people. Okay, right. So one day a partially deaf 4 years old kid came home with a note in his pocket from his teacher. Your Tommy is too stupid to learn, get him out of the school. This is what written in the note. So one day a partially deaf boy, a 4 years old kid, he came home from school. His teacher gave a note in his pocket. That note contains this text. What is the text? Your Tommy is not learning anything, so please take him out of the school. This is what the teacher wrote in the notice. So his mother read the note and answered. She gave a reply to the teacher. My Tommy is not stupid to learn. I will teach him myself. So she sent a written reply that her son was not stupid to learn. He was able to learn. So she also told that she would teach him herself. Okay, and That Tommy grew up to be a great Thomas Edison. Thomas Alva Edison had only 3 months of formal schooling and he was partially deaf. Do you believe, my dear friends? He hardly went to school only for 3 months of time. That's it. He had only formal schooling of 3 months. And moreover, he was a partially deaf. Can you imagine that? He became a famous scientist. Right? Okay. And the other person is Henry Ford. Can you guess my difference? Henry Ford means, yeah, Ford cars owner. Okay, Henry Ford forgot to put the reverse gear in the first car he made. This is what the drawback to him, right? His first mistake. But today, after correcting his mistake, the cars with the name Ford are sold like a hotcakes in the American country. All the rich people prefer to buy Ford cars, and that became the prestige symbol in the developed countries and rich people. It was a brand for the rich people. So now, do you consider these people failures? No, absolutely they are not failures. They succeeded in spite of problems, not in the absence of them. So my dear friends, you have to note down, you have to underline this line. They succeeded in spite of problems. All those great people, they succeeded in their lives in the presence of problems but not in their absence. Whenever problems are present there, then only you can succeed. Okay, you will succeed, right? But to outside world it appears as though they just got lucky. Other people, the narrow-minded people, they think they are lucky people. They don't see the other side, their hard work, their dedication. They don't see all these things, right? So next, all success stories are stories of great failures, of course. The only difference is that every time they failed, they bounced back. Every success story is a story of a great failure. Okay, yes or no? Yes. But the main difference is that every time they failed, they bounced back. They came back with a lot of speed. This is called failing forward rather than backward. So if you got failed, you have to try again and again and again till you get success. It's called what? Failing forward. If you don't try again, it's called failing backward. You learn and move forward. Learn from your failure and keep moving. Okay, you should not stop anywhere. Next, in 1914, Thomas Edison, at the age 67, lost his factory. So he had a factory of inventions which was worth a few $1,000,000 to fire. So at the age of 67, in the year 1914, his lab got fire. It had very little insurance. That lab had little insurance. No longer had a young man. Edison watched his lifetime effort go up in the smoke and said, "There is a great value in disaster. All our mistakes are burnt up. Thank God we can start anew." So he did not upset. He didn't worry because lot of money was wasted. Right? The entire lab was on fire. He didn't worry a lot. He thought in a positive manner how there is a great lesson. All the mistakes were burnt up so that he could start a new invention. What an attitude. This is called positive thinking, right? That's a great, thought. Right, next. Below are more examples of failures of successful people. All the following people are succeeded in their lives, but they faced failures in the beginning. They are like Thomas Edison failed approximately 10,000 times while he was working on the light bulb. We all know very well. Next, Henry Ford was broke at the age of 40. He lost, of course. He got failed at the age of 40. Lee Iacocca was fired by Henry Ford too at the age of 54. Of course, he lost his job. He got failed at the age of 54 by Henry Ford. And young Beethoven was told that he had no talent for music, but he gave some of the best music to the world today. Young Beethoven, okay? You can search this person and listen to his famous music. So, Shiv Khera says that setbacks are inevitable in life. Setbacks means what? Problems are failures. Failures are inevitable in life. Inevitable means what? Unavoidable. We cannot avoid. Unavoidable. Failures are unavoidable in life. In everyone's life, we see failure. Everyone will not cross his life without experiencing the failure. A setback can act as a driving force and also teaches humility. This setback or this failure, it acts as a driving force. So this driving force is very, very important for all the people, right? That teaches humility. Okay, humility. In grief, you will find courage and faith to overcome the setback. This driving force, it gives us the courage. This failure gives us the courage and faith to overcome the problems or failure. When we need to learn to become victors, not victims. This is the another famous quotation we have to underline, my dear friends, that we need to learn to become victors. You be a victor, but not a victim. Okay. Fear and doubt short circuit the mind. Yeah, there are two enemies that live in those two people. Who are those? Fear and doubt. They live in your mind. They both short circuit the mind. They both destroy your mind. So we have to kill the enemies. Our real enemies are our fear and doubt only. Right? Fear, you break it, and doubt, you clarify it. Then only your mind will be free of all the burdens. Ask yourself after every setback, whenever you meet a failure, you have to ask yourself, what did I learn from this experience? What I learned from this experience, from this failure? Only then will you be able to turn a stumbling block into a stepping stone. Then only we can push our failures into success. Each time you fail, you have to ask yourself a question, what lesson I learnt? Then only you can turn this failure into success. The motivation to succeed comes from burning desire to achieve purpose. This motivation comes from where? Burning desire. The burning desire is very, very important for everyone to achieve your purpose, right? Napoleon Hill, he wrote, whatever the mind of a man can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve. You see, it is a fantastic quotation, my dear friends. Napoleon Hill, he wrote that whatever the mind of a man can conceive, whatever you think and believe, that mind can achieve. Right? So first of all, you have to imagine and you have to think and you have to believe it, then you will achieve it. Right? Next, a young man asked Socrates the secret to success. So there came a young man to a famous philosopher, Socrates. I think you might have heard his name, Socrates. And Socrates told the young man to meet him near the river the next morning. He told, you come to the river next morning. Okay. They both met. Who? The young man and Socrates. Socrates asked the young man to walk with him towards the river. So he told the young man to follow him. So he was going towards the river. Socrates was going toward the river and he asked the young man to follow him. When the water got up to their neck, Socrates took the young man by surprise and ducked him into the water. So whenever the water level came up to the neck, then Socrates, he tried to duck him under the water. He pushed into the water, whom? The young man. The boy struggled to get out, but Socrates was strong and kept him there until the boy started turning blue. Till the boy turned blue, he kept on pushing him into the water only, ducking. Means what? Immersing into the water. Socrates pulled his head out of the water, and first thing the young man did was to gasp and take a deep breath of air. The young man came outside and he took a deep breath. Then Socrates asked, "What did you want the most when you were there? When you were under the water, what do you wanted the most there? At that moment, in that place, what do you wanted the most?" Socrates asked. The boy replied, "Air, obviously. If you are under the water, if you don't get enough sufficient air, you won't live there. You will definitely die. However, you struggled for air under the water, in the same way you have to struggle for success. That's it. There is no other great secret for success." This is what Socrates said to the young man. Right? So, a burning desire is starting point of all accomplishments. For all the victories, for all the success, for all the achievements, the burning desire is the starting point. If you have the burning desire in your mind, in your heart, right, that will be the starting point for any success, for any achievement. Without this desire, you will not reach any goal, you will not meet success. Just like a small fire cannot give much heat. Yes or no? There is only small fire. It can't give much heat, right? So a weak desire cannot produce great results. If you have a very weak desire, that won't produce great results. So you must have a burning desire. Okay, this is what the great lesson told to us by Shiv Khera, right? He tried to motivate us. So I got inspired and motivated by this great keynote speaker. Okay, and he says in a small poem with the name "If You Think." If you think you are beaten, you are. So, for example, you are beaten. If you think you are beaten by somebody, of course you are. You will be definitely beaten by somebody because you are thinking. You are becoming inferior to somebody else. Then they will definitely beat you. If you think you dare not, you don't. If you think that you have no dare, you don't have, obviously, right? If you like to win, but you think you can't. If you want to win, but you think you cannot, so there is nothing to do. You can't do anything, right? Right. You think you will lose, you are lost. If you think you will lose, definitely you will be lost it. For out in the world, we find success begins with the fellow's will. It's all in the state of mind. Because in the world, we find success. Success begins with the fellow's willpower only. Whoever has the willpower, with them, success starts. Their success starts. It's all lies in the state of mind. State of your mind only. If your mind think that you can do it, you will do it. If you think you can't do it, you won't. Right? It's all it depends on your mind only. Okay? Right. If you think you are outclassed, you are. So for example, if you are thrown out of the society, you are. You have got to think high to rise. Okay? You have got to think high. You have to think high to rise. You have got to be sure of yourself before you can even win a prize. So you have to be sure of yourself before getting a prize. You must think that, right? You must feel that. Then only you will get that. Okay. Life's battles don't always go to the stronger and faster man. The problems in our life, the obstacles in our life, the hurdles, the battles in our life, they don't directly go to the strong people and fast people. But sooner or later, the man who wins is the man who thinks he can. These problems, these obstacles, these hurdles, they will go to the man who thinks he can do that, who thinks who can solve either sooner or later. To to such a person only this life's battles will go, and they make him strong, and ultimately he will become a successful person. So Shiv Khera is saying that if you want to succeed, you have to meet failure. Okay, these failures make you strong, right? So that's it, my dear friends. I hope you understood the essay by Shiv Khera. Once you go through this glossary, okay, overcome means you know very well, to defeat or to succeed. Detour means what? A route that is used when usual one is closed. If one road is closed, take the other road. It's called what? Diversion. Triode chooser, you know it already, just now I told. Lead forest person, fraudulent, you know, by cheating somebody. Colin Sanders is the founder of KFC. Beat of old and damaged car. Walt Disney cartoonist. Invest mounted in a place in groups. Henry Ford is a person. Lee Iacocca is a great businessman. And Ludwig Beethoven, a pianist, musician. Napoleon Hill is a philosopher. Conceive, imagine, think. Socrates is a philosopher. Dakota, keeping something under water, okay. Immersing, cinch, a thing that is certain to happen, okay. Outclassed, better than someone you are competing against. So that's it, my dear friends. I hope you understood this lesson. If you didn't, so please put a message in the comment section where you didn't understand. I will try to explain once again. And so once again, I request you all to like and share this video with your friends, and do not forget to subscribe to this channel, 10th English Online. Have a good day, friends. Bye bye. Good night.